When you get home tonight, there's a beautiful 4-part documentary done by Al Jazeera called the Al Nakba, right? And it just slowly tells you how the Palestinian people were just kicked out of their land, or genocides like this have happened in the past, and they're not really, a lot of people don't know about it because it's not taught.
Yeah, unless it's in mainstream media, people don't believe it's really happening.
100%, right? So similar occasions, the Nakba basically means a catastrophe.
Yeah.
So loads of people were, they were just wiped off the earth back in the past as well. So Israel, it has an agenda, it has, an ideology that doesn't lie with the Jewish faith, right, or any faith in particular. It's not a religious problem because in 1946, for 1,200 years, Palestinian Jews, Palestinian Christians, Palestinian Muslims lived side by side, no problem. So then, ironically, after the Ottoman Empire fell, supposedly Muslim Jews are now clashing, right? When they didn't clash for 1,200 years.
It's amazing how easily people have turned.
100%. But it's politically driven. Yeah. And when you open this leaflet here, you can see we're trying to explain to people what Zionism is and what it's not. It's not Judaism, right? And these are Orthodox Jews right here, supporting the Palestinian cause.
Yeah.
They're arguing from their own, from a Jewish perspective, how what's happening is against their own faith, right? Because Jews believe that they should live in diaspora. According to the Old Testament, when they didn't obey the laws of Moses, etc., God, said that they had to live in diaspora. Right? They didn't have their own. That's their own faith. That's their own creed, right? But they said that they don't have no issue with having this as their homeland. We can't be taken violently.
Yeah.
Right. And Israel has this violent agenda, right? A terrorist agenda where it just takes and kills. And we're just here for like the 20,000 dead children, right? There's a lot of kids. So the UN has called this a clear genocide. International Criminal Court Justice called this, has held Israel accountable, said that, stop the war, right? Stop this genocide. But Israel, it's above the law. Because they have the funding of America.
They do things and then they have to try and explain it later. That's the way they get. They just do it anyway.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh, well, maybe we should apologise or something. It's like, are you kidding me? Like,
I mean, apology doesn't...
Almost the whole nation.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But when the UK and the US have their dirty hands involved. And the people themselves are good people. They want what's right for their own country, right? But we have corrupt governments, right?
100%.
And I mean, COVID was a beautiful display of how corrupt our government can be, right? I mean, Boris Johnson, it still is very corrupt.
Worse now.
100%.
That's why
the
news is so one-sided.
100%.
So
what we're trying to do is, one, raise awareness about Palestine, right? And tell people that what's happening right now is linked to us, right? There's corruption within our government. It's only going to destroy us, right? And solution that, I'm trying to think, what solution can we bring to society, right? And, I could have had more Palestine stuff here, right? But I think this does the job. I do truly think, Islam, the system of Islam, if implemented properly, is the best justice system on planet Earth. And when you go home tonight, maybe I can write it down for you. You can look this up tonight.
Yeah. That's not their religious book, is it?
We got some.
When you go home tonight, it's a YouTube channel you can have a look at.
Okay.
And that one day, just type down to YouTube.
Alright.
And you'll know what I'm talking about.
Have a look.
And because from the justice system according to the Quran, you allow whoever, a lot of people, there's misconception about the Islamic history being a violent, communist kind of way of life.
It doesn't matter which side you're on, everybody's got the violence.
But if you look at Islamic history, there's something called the Dahriya. Dahriya in Arabic means the atheists, right? They were allowed to live and even publicly speak about their own personal views. Christians were allowed to implement their own law. Jews were allowed to implement their own law. That's why if you go home tonight, something called convivencia. When Islamic Spain, the Jews had their best philosophy, their best literature ever written was when they were under Islamic rule. Because the Islamic Empire, because due to the teachings of Islam, it allowed them to practice their own rulings and laws, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So there's no rift and there's no kind of any, there wasn't even a minuscule amount of oppression. There's always justice. So
yeah, I'll have a look. Appreciate that.
You know what? Gift from me to you, right? Have you got a copy of the Quran? Give for me to you. Take that home with you tonight.
Are you sure?
Definitely. Give for me to you, right?
I appreciate that.
You really.
Thank
Nice
Thank
meeting
you. Thank you for that.
you.
Go on then. Oh yeah.